Let's just wait for the recording to take place. Okay, there. So we will now have the measure of central tendency for group data. You have to understand that when it comes to measure of central tendency, there are two ways to adapt or deal with them. First is we have to know whether we can do the computation central tendency for a data that is organized and then a data that is just taken as raw as they are. So first is we are going to look for, we will try to make first the table because I only have limited space here. We will first look into the table as to what are the necessary column or columns needed in order for us to solve for the mean, median, and mode for a group data. So in the group data, what we need to do is simply we are going to unlike in the simple frequency distribution table, we're taking score per score, okay, one at a time. In this case, we are going to make categories so-called as class interval. Do you know what's class interval? I forgot. We should have started with class frequency. Okay, this one. What I'm going to do, I'm going to discuss to you this one, and then the lesson about frequency distribution table, I'll just post a video of that because I cannot discuss it using like this because it would require a certain given and how to do it also in the table, and then I only have a limited space. So what I'm going to do, I'll just post the video, which I have already a recorded video of that. You have to watch that one so that you know how to the process and constructing a frequency distribution table for group data. Okay? And then, so what we're going to do, I'm going to discuss now the table, how to complete some of the columns, but how to construct the table itself. I think you're ready, right? Have you seen a frequency using the um, 2 to the power of k rule using the 1 plus 3.22 logarithm of n and finding the class intervals? Are you familiar with that?
Yes, sir.
I mean, did you did I mean have I given it to you last time or you just learned it in the past? Hello? Do you know how to construct a frequency distribution table for group data? No one's going to answer. Are you all like I'm confused now. Can somebody please answer me? Did we discuss already frequency distribution table for group data or not yet?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet, sir.
Okay, but you know already how to use the 2 to the k rule and 1 plus 3.22 logarithm of n and finding the number of class intervals. Yes or no?
No, sir.
No,
No.
sir.
No, sir.
Because just someone said yes, so I'm already confused whether I might just forget the lesson or what. Anyway, now this is what we're going to do. First, I will discuss to you here how to compute the measure of central tendency, assuming that you know already how to construct the table. Now, for you to know how to construct the table, I'll just post my recorded video of that for you to watch. Okay? Anyway, that is also a detailed discussion because if I'm going to discuss it now, I can't do it because I need a portion for the given and a portion for the table, which this is not going to suffice. Okay? Because the given for a construction of a frequency distribution table for group data would require at least 30 to 40 samples, and then the columns needed, I mean, it would really take so much time because there are still preliminaries. In short, my space here is not enough. So what you're going to do, I'll discuss you the frequency. I'll discuss to you how to compute the measure of central tendency. Along with it, you are going to watch also the video on how to construct a frequency distribution table construction. Are we good? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And then if you have some question, uh, mabano, I remember you create, there's a group chat, right? If you have question in the frequency distribution table that you feel like you're not sure or you're not quite, I mean, you will not understand, you just send there the question. I'll answer you as soon as possible. Okay? Because as of now, as much as I wanted to discuss it here, the space is not really enough for us to discuss the construction of the table because there is a given, there is a preliminary computation, and there is also a table for that. And the space is not enough. I cannot also afford to do it here and then erase something because I have to do to see both. I have to see all of them. Okay. Anyway, so much for the explanation of that. So by the way, I will start with the table and then how to do the table. You just watch the video that I'll be sharing in after. I mean, once our class today is done. Where is the table? Keep my eyes above the waves and oceans rise. My soul rests in your embrace. 'Cause I am yours. Okay, and you are mine.
Excuse me, sir. Hanap, sir.
For a while. I'm sure those who are with me for Math 101, you know how to do this.
Class, class interval na, sir.
Yes. Okay. So, by the way, you might be asking how did I come up with this one? That's what I'm telling you in the video that you're going to watch is explaining how to construct like this from a raw data, how to prepare like this, what are also the preliminaries and the steps and the procedures to follow. Now, going forward, in computing measure of central tendency for group data like this, group because the scores here, these are actually scores, but you notice the score were already grouped. Example, the first group or the first interval is between 1 to 7. So scores that falls under 1 to 7, they are categorized or they fall on this interval. Okay? And then the frequency here is just simply how many example of how many scores were there that falls under the first class, that falls under the second, and so on and so forth. Now, if we're going to get the total of this one, F, that is 10, 20, that's 20 for example. So in this case, we have 20 respondents, meaning to say there are 20 scores that is being considered. Now, I here is simply the class width or the size of the class interval. How to compute this one? There is a separate discussion for this. Like I said, you can just refer to the video that I'll be posting later on. But for this, how to get this one, at least from this one, without the computation, without since we have already the table and we're going to find this, we just simply subtract this portion. That's 8 minus 1, that will give you 7. Meaning to say, this is now our I, or so also known as width. That's the difference between, this is called lower limit, this is called upper limit. The one on the right side and the left side is lower limit. This is lower limit, upper limit. Okay? And then this is class interval, class interval, class interval. There are 7 classes or 7 class intervals. Now, what we need to do to solve for the mean, the first thing that we need is we need x sub m. What is this x sub m? X sub m is basically refers to the class mark, or also known as class mark, refers to the average of your limits. Lower limit, which is 1, upper limit, which is 7, add them together, that's 8 divided by 2, that is 4. So that's how we get the lower or the class mark or x sub m. So that means to say you have 4. Now, to make it easier, of course, you have 12, 8 plus 14 divided by 2, which is 22 divided by 2, that is 11. The easiest way of getting 11, instead of doing the addition here, that is just your first class mark, which is 4, plus the I. 4 plus 7, that gives you 11. To get the next, that's 11 plus 7, you have 18. 18 plus 7, that is 25. And then 25 plus 7, that is 32. 32 plus 7, that is 39. Now, to verify whether what we did here is exactly correct, what we can do is simply, we are going to double check what we're going to 36, the lower limit of the highest class interval. This is the highest class interval where the highest score in a given distribution could which falls on, this is in this interval. So you have 36 plus 42. We divide that one by 2, the answer is 30, that is 78 divided by 2, that is 39. Okay? So, looking at this one, we are on the right track. Once we have this, the next thing that we'll have is this column, fx sub m. Anyone who has an idea, what is fx sub m? Hello?
Measure, sir.
Fx sub m, simply the product of the second and the third column. Four. Okay, follow. We just multiply that one. 4, and then we have times 18. It's 108. Everybody, I hope you're doing also the same thing on your end. Then you have 5 times 25. That's 125. You have 32 times 4. Huh? sorry. It's 32 times 4, 128, and then 39. Okay?
Excuse
This
me,
is
sir.
exactly what you need to do. Yes.
Good siya, sir. Di siya maklaro.
Which one?
Pwede basahon sa ang mga numbers sir aron maamo lang masulat sa among paper. Kay hanap
Which
manggod sa
number?
amo
Class
dira
interval, sir.
sa class interval hantod sa F then XM and FXM.
What about
Na
that
na siya,
one?
sir. Okay na siya, sir.
Na, sir.
Okay na
Then
sir.
siya.
Mas better.
Okay, so we have here fx sub m. The next thing that we will do with this column is we will just get its summation. Okay, we will just add everything. So we have 4 plus 33 plus 108. Kindly double check if the entries are all correct. Plus 128 plus 39. That's 437. Kindly check if it's correct. The total of this one is 400. The summation of fx sub m is 437. Yeah. And then the class mark is the average of the limits, upper limit and lower limit. Once we have already this column, actually we're good to solve for the mean. The formula for mean is simply, okay, I'll just complete first the table and then we'll just solve together all the three measurements. Another thing that is needed also is we need the class boundaries. Class class boundaries is also known as the true limits because they're the true boundary or the true limits. Because if you notice here, we have 1 to 7 followed by 8 to 14. So there is a gap between 6 and 7. There is a gap of 1 point. So the class boundaries, or also known as the true limits, would eliminate the gap. And to do that, simply this is your lower limit. Okay, 1. 7 is the upper limit. For the class boundaries, the lower limit here will be subtracted by 0.1. So instead of 1, this will become 0.5. And then the upper boundary of this interval, since our upper limit is 7, instead of what you're going to do is plus zero point 0.5. So this is 7 plus zero point 0.5, you will have 7.5. See? That's how we are going to complete this column. 7.5, I mean 0 0.5 to 7.5. How did we get the 0.5? Anyone?
Lower boundary of
Minus
ones.
5, sir.
No, it's not lower boundary of 1, but to get, this is called lower boundary. To get the lower boundary, first class interval, the lower limit of that interval, which is 1 minus zero point 0.5. That's why you have 1 minus zero point 0.5, you have lower boundary of 1 of 0.5. And then to get the upper bound, this is called upper boundary of this interval. The upper boundary is simply the upper limit of that interval plus zero point 0.5. So this is minus zero point 0.5 here. This is plus zero point 0.5. Okay, that's what you're going to do. So this is going to be 0.5, and then that's true for all. So what you're going to do, you just continue the same thing here. 8 minus zero point 0.5, that is 7.5, correct? And then what will happen here? 8 7.5 to
Five.
what?
14.5.
Okay. I need somebody to help me complete this column. Can you please just complete this column?
14.5, sir. 21.5.
Okay.
21.5, 28.5, 28.5, 35.5, 35.5 and 42.5, sir.
Ah, 35.5. Okay? Everybody, do you have the same column? The same entry? Now, finally, the last column here is intended for our less than cumulative frequency. Okay, the less than cumulative frequency class, this is how we're do it. From the lowest class interval, we will get the cumulative of the frequencies. If you notice in this table, our lowest class interval is this one. Meaning to say this is where the lowest score should fall. And then this is the highest class interval where the highest score in your data, in your distribution also must be. So since this is the lowest class interval, we will get the lesson cumulative frequency from this row. So we will record the first limit, the first frequency, 1. Okay, that's our first frequency. To get the next frequency, that is 1 plus the next frequency. That's why it's called cumulative. Okay, it's just the addition of the successive frequencies. So you have 1 plus 3 will give you 4. 4 plus the third frequency, that is 10. 10 plus 5, that is
15.
15. Plus 4, you have 19.
20.
Plus 1, 20. You must end here as your summation of f. By the way, this is also known as n. Also known as the number of, the size of the the size of class size rather. Not class size. Sample size. The number of samples. So in this case, we have only 20. So you notice, you should end with 20. If this is not equivalent to your sample size or the summation of your frequency, then there's something wrong of how you added. Okay? So these are all the information needed to solve for the mean, median, and mode. Now, the next thing that I'll be showing here is the formula. Let's start with the formula for the mean. Of course, the symbol, this is symbol for the mean bar, is simply equals the summation of fx sub m divided by n. Okay? Wait, let me just double check because I remember there is -1 before. I'm not sure if that's for the arithmetic, but I'll just have to check first just to make sure. What happened? Okay, we have the summation of f x sub m. I'll just double check the formula. Okay, you have the summation of x, f sub m. Let's see. Okay, that's correct.
Sir,
Yes.
unsa na kanang sunod sa summation of x equals 20? Kanang sunod summation of x m equals
The summation of f here, this one. The summation of fx sub m.
equals
The sum
435.
of this.
di man
You
maklaro.
better,
Sige.
you can actually add this one, mabano.
Thank you,
For you
sir.
for you to know what's this number. But anyway, it's 437. Okay, so we will just substitute the value. You have 437, that is your fx sub m, the summation. So that's 437 divided by your n, which is this one, 20. Okay, what's the answer? The answer is, what's your answer?
2.1 something, sir.
85 sir.
No, what do you mean 2.1 something? You give me the correct answer.
21.85 sir.
That's 21.85. Because we cannot also consider answer that is point something. You have to give me at least the answer. Now you have to take note that sometimes you don't expect this to be two decimal places right away. But for uniformity of our answer, your answer must be rounded to the nearest hundreds. So until two decimal places. You know already how to do rounding of values. So do not leave your answer with so much decimal places, but rather just limit your decimal places into two until hundredths place. So in this case, since we divide this, our answer is at the hundredths place already. So we just simply clear over the entire digits, which is 85 or 21.85. Question how question how to solve the mean for group data. Is there any question from you on how to solve the mean for group data? I assume you all understand how to do it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move now to the next computation, which is, what is the symbol?
Median.
Median, sir.
Okay, the formula for median is simply x LB,
Unsa?
yes,
Wala, sir. Wala, sir.
plus n divided by 2 minus c f sub c sub fb divided by f sub m, then times I. That's the formula. Median is equal to x sub LB plus the quantity n divided by 2 minus c sub FB divided by f sub m times I.
Sir, pwede pa balik, sir, kay hanap ang kuan, sir. Whiteboard. XLB plus
N divided by 2 minus c sub FB divided by f sub m times I. Okay, so from here, you notice there are subscripts here. We have LB, you have M, you have here FB. Now, what is needed here is so-called median class. What is median class? It is the class interval containing the median value. Remember, median is the middle score. Okay, it's simply dividing the data set into, getting the half of the data set and locating what is that half, what is the score on the half portion. So what we can do to to locate the median class, when you say class, okay, take note, it refers to the class interval where the median is located. Again, median class is simply the class interval where the median value is located. To do that, the thing that you need to do is you will do n divided by 2. Your sample size divided by 2, which is 20 divided by 2, you have 10. 10 here is not your median, but rather that's the location or the position of your median. Meaning to say, the median is on the 20 and the 10th score of the distribution. There are 20 scores. So the 10th score, that is where your median is located. Okay, in the 10th score. So the 10th score of your distribution is your median, something like that. Now, what's the relation of this? Where do we get or where do we use this one to locate our median class? Take note, median class is any of these three or any of the seven. Six rather. So among these six intervals, which of these is our median class? Now, using this information, we will locate now our median class. We will use the less than CF, this column, the last column. So the last column here, we will locate. In this case, we have actual score of 10, exact score of 10. But most of the time, it's not guaranteed that you will get 10 here. Sometimes you only have 15, or in short, sometimes you cannot get an exact 10 here. So what you can do is you will look for the next closest. Again, I'll repeat, it's the next closest score in your cumulative frequency that is on the where you will locate the median value. So example, you're looking for 10, and then what you have here, example, if this is 9, just example, that's 9. So of course, our n minus n divided by 2 is 10. Now, where do I look here 10? Which score do you think what I'm going to consider now if my n divided by 2 is 10? If this is my class interval, or class frequency.
9, sir.
Nine.
Again, I said the next closest. If this is 10, take note this is not yet 10. In short, wa pa kaabot.
15, sir.
Okay? So you will get the next closest. The closest, but it must be the next or after. So that's
15,
why
sir.
you need to take 15. Okay? Because if you will take 9, take note 9 is not yet categorized it's not yet on the next level, but rather it's before. So therefore, we cannot take 9. We will can actually
Thank you,
rather
sir.
have 15. Okay? Just in case you will be caught up with this situation in your actual computation. Now, let's return our actual entry here. Okay? Since we have an exact 10, so there's no trouble. We can simply locate, okay, this is our interval. Now, guaranteed, in this interval, since we found out this is the median class interval, median class, we therefore say now that our median is between this interval between 15 to 21. So our median value must be within this interval between 15 to 21. Now let's do and find out what is the actual median value. So using our information, we located the median class. Now in the median class, we need to find the lower boundary of the median class. If I'm going to ask you, what is the lower boundary of this class interval? Raise hand.
14.5 and 21.5.
See, that's not the correct answer. I said we're looking for the lower boundary. Raise your hand. Anyone? I thought someone is raising her hand. Yes, Tagnipes.
Kuan, sir, 0.5 and 7.5.
No, you don't understand perhaps with what I'm asking. I said lower boundary. What you're giving me is class boundary. Remember, in a class boundary, there is lower boundary and there is upper boundary. What I'm asking is lower
Sir.
boundary of that interval.
15, sir.
Yes, Elus.
1,
No.
sir. 1.
Ah,
1,
are
sir.
you guys?
14.5, sir. Sir,
Are you
So,
14.5.
so 21.5 and 28.5, sir.
14.5 alone, sir.
Dili, guys.
Yes,
Focus siya.
Mapano.
14.5, sir.
Why?
Kaya ma'am siyang lower boundary sa kanaan na kon, sir.
Exactly. This is our interval, right? Others were too excited and then failing to realize what is really the question. Okay, this is our interval. So in this limit or in this interval, we're looking for the lower boundary. Class boundary is the second to the last column. The left side are what we call the lower boundaries. The right side are our upper boundaries. We're after with the lower boundary. So we are looking the left side. Since we are caught up in this interval because that's the median class, we are concerned with this interval itself or specifically 14.5. For that is the lower boundary of our median class, which is this interval. Is that clear?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Do
sir.
not be caught up with being excited and then you did not fully realize what's the question.
Sorry, sir.
Okay?
Sorry.
So we have, it's okay. You have 14.5. So this is our value here. This is 14.5. Next we have here is n divided by 2. We already got our value here. As we look for the median class, we'll just substitute that. That's plus, that's 10. And then minus. The next concern is, where do we get the CFB? By the way, CFB stands for cumulative frequency before the median class. If this is our median class, take note, our table is, this is the lowest interval, this is going to the highest class interval going down. So therefore, if this is the median class, is the what is the cumulative frequency before this interval? Raise your hand.
Or, sir?
Okay, this is our what we're looking for. Because this is our median class, the cumulative frequency before it, this is the class interval before it, 8 to 14. And its cumulative frequency is 4. Therefore, this is, the value here is 4. Okay? And then we have F sub M. F sub M refers to the frequency of the median class. If this is the median class, what is its frequency?
6, sir.
Okay, we have here 6. That must be the value here below. And then lastly, we have one last variable, which is I. What is our I?
7.
Okay, we have it here, 7. Substitute. And then afterwards, you can do it in your calculator. So we have 6 divided by 6 times 7 plus, okay, that is 14.5 plus 7. 14.5 plus 7, that is 21.5. Correct? Is it correct? Do you have the same answer?
Ano, sir?
Our answer is 21.5. Did you get the same answer?
Yes, me, sir. Pwede mo naman mag-answer na, sir.
Actually, it's okay. It's up to you. If you feel like you can do it easily, if you do it, then let it be. But using calculator will not also, I will not stop you from using calculator. This one, you can just easily do calculator without calculator because the numbers are quite easier. 10 minus 4 is 6 divided by 6, that's 1 times 7, 7, 7 plus 14.5, that is 21.5.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I mean, others, did you get the same answer, 21.5?
Yes, sir.
21.5, sir.
Oh, okay, I see. So this is now our median. Our mean We have our median value. Okay? We're down to the last measure, which is the mode. Again, mode is defined to be the most frequently reoccurring value. So you notice or expected why the values here are actually not exact. It's because our table or our scores were grouped. So it's expected not to get an exact value at all. Anyway, let's move to the last measurement, which is x hat. Stands for x hat stands for mode.
Mode.
Our formula is simply XLB plus delta 1 divided by delta 2 ay 1 plus delta 2 times I. Okay, that is our formula. We have delta 1 divided by delta 1 plus delta 2 and then multiply with our width. Okay? Now, who can give me at least maybe you have an idea what is your idea about the formula? Who can tell me what are those variables involved or variables involved? Anyone? Hello? The x sub LB here is lower boundary, still a lower boundary, but this time not the median class but the modal class. Since we're solving for the mode. Delta 1 here is the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the class preceding it. And then delta 2, triangle sub 2, is the difference between frequency of the modal class and the class succeeding it. Okay? And then of course your I refers to your sample or your class with this one. Did you understand that?
Wala kayo, sir.
X sub LB is your lower boundary of the modal class. So first you have to do is you have to find the modal class. Next is you have delta 1 or triangle 1. Triangle 1 or delta 1 refers to the difference between your modal class in the frequency of the modal class minus the frequency of the class preceding it, meaning to say before. And then delta 2 or triangle 2 refers to the difference of the frequency of the modal class and then the class interval after or succeeding. And then of course you have your I. Okay? So what have you noticed? What do we need first?
Find the mode, sir.
Of course, we're finding for the mode for this one. This entire formula is finding for the mode. What do you think we will do now? Okay, our first or the first thing to do is locate the modal. Like for the median, we located first the median class. The same thing goes for our mode here. Locate the modal class first. How to locate the modal class? Any idea? Hello?
Sir, try sir.
Yes, mabano.
Kuan sir kaning last number sa class interval sir ug ang i-divide 2.
No, that's not how the same with the median. Again, how do we define mode?
Ay, nagbalik-balik.
I don't know if you're giving an answer or you're asking me. How do we define mode again?
Common number,
The
sir.
the recurring
Negative
number, sir.
number, sir.
I'm confused already who wants to talk. Can you please raise your hand and then let's acknowledge who wants to talk? Because if you will simultaneously talk, we cannot understand you. You raise your hand. You know where is the raise hand button, right? Oh, mabano.
1 sir.
What do you mean one?
1 ang answer sir ba?
I mean, our modal class is one. We don't even have a class interval here with one. I mean, how did you get one?
Sa frequency sir.
This one? I mean, I'm asking you, what is the definition of mode? Mode is, yes, abad.
The most common number, sir.
Okay, the most common or the most reoccurring score. In this case, we are going to refer that in our frequency. The frequency or the interval here with the highest frequency happens to be the interval where the mode is located. In this case, what is the highest frequency?
6, sir.
Okay, we have 6. In this case, this is our the highest frequency, 6. Now, the next thing that we will do is we're guaranteed now that mode at the same time is located in this interval or is just within 15 to 21. So the thing is, we will substitute on the value. We located the mode. The mode is, or the modal class is this one. So at the same time, the median class is also our modal class. Okay? So our modal class is also the median class. What is the lower boundary of your modal class? And
14.5, sir.
mabano, I said you raise your hand.
Di man ako
Okay,
sir.
who was that?
Paulo.
Okay, next time you raise your hand, so at least we will know who is talking and then we will practice using the raise your hand button. Okay, we have here 14.5. Can you please tell me who's that Mahinay? Can you please explain how did you get 14.5?
Ang kuan, sir, ang lower boundary sa modal. So, which is, yung modal mas natumong mo siya sa 6, so 14.5 yung lower boundary.
Okay, this one. So in this case, our lower boundary of the modal class is also the same with the lower boundary of our median class. It's because we actually fall in the same interval. The median the median and the mode happens to be in the same class interval. And it follows, they have also the same lower boundaries. So that's why we use 14.5 in both formula. Okay, we have already our LB, X of LB. Now we have our delta 1. Who can tell me what is the value of the delta 1? Raise your hand, please. Yes, Mahinay.
3, sir.
How
Joke.
did you get 3?
Before man siya sa ano, sir, sa lower boundary, I mean, sa to? Sa modal class, before, basta sir, before siya sa ano,
How did you, why did you get 3? I mean, how did you get 3? That's basically,
mauto siya, sir, before siya sa mod,
take note, it's unlike median that you will just get before. Remember the word I said earlier, the difference. So it's subtracting something to get a difference. So what have you subtracted to get 3? Because of course the answer, the delta 1 is also 3. But I think you did not get it right. It was just somehow it so happened that 3 is also the number before it. Mabano.
Sa ako answer sa 6 minus 3, sir. Noong 3 sa lang answer.
This is your mode. This is the frequency of the modal class. And then the frequency of the class before it is 3. Accordingly, delta 1 is the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the class before it. Since the class before it is 3, so that's 6 minus 3. That's why you have 3 here. Okay? Is that clear already, Mahinay?
yes, sir.
Okay, and then of course below is delta 1. So we'll just copy what is above because we have already the value of delta 1. What about delta 2? Oh yes, Earl Marie.
Co-answer 6 minus 5 is 1.
Okay, this is 1. And then what is our I? It is 7. So that's the time now. Let's solve to get the value of our mode. That is 3 divided by 4 times 7 plus 14.5. What's your answer? What's your answer? No one has an answer. What's so wrong with this one?
Sir. Ayun.
Well, how did you get 7.5?
19.75, sir.
Okay, that is 19.75. Class, you have to take note of this. In your computation, in the process, we only allow rounding of value or values once, only in the final answer. So please keep yourself from rounding values unless it's already the final answer. So how did we get that one? That is simply 3 divided by 4 times 7 plus 14.5, which is 19.75. This is our mode. Okay? Question. Any question?
Sir, nalang ko iklaro, sir.
Yes.
Kato bitaw ang kuan? N over 2 equals katong 10, sir, ba? 20. Unsa kitawag ato niya, sir? Kaning 10?
That's the location where the median, that's the it's the location of your median value. So of your 20 scores, the 10th score is your median.
Okay, thank you, sir.
10 is not your median, but that's where median is found. Or somehow that's the location of the median. Who has another question?
Sir Gi, unsa na pagwan ang frequency, sir? Oh,
Actually,
sir.
in this case, I gave this one as a given. That's why I told you with the video that I'll be posting, you have to watch that one because that's where you will be taught how to get this one, how to make this column. Because I cannot show it here because of a limited space. I have to show you the given and then the procedure and how to start constructing and the constructed. So it must be shown. It must be shown together. But since I only have a very, you look at the whiteboard. It's too small, and then it will not. The space will not suffice you. So for you to know how to get the frequency and how to construct this column here, you have to watch the video that I'll be posting. Now, because those were the prerequisites, you cannot construct this part here unless you know how to do this. From a raw data, you have from the raw data you have, out of which you are going to construct a table like this. So the video that I'll be posting to you, that's also a detailed discussion on how you are going to do that. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And basically, you have to understand also the concept there because in your quiz, by the way, have I informed you that Wednesday you will have your midterm?
Prelim?
No,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Okay. Now it's like this. On Wednesday, midterm, I'll give you your prelim exam. So your prelim exam is up until mean, median, and mode for group data. That includes the construction of frequency distribution table. Okay, frequency distribution table for group data, the one that I'll be posting. So now, I mean, after this class, I'll be posting the video of this, and then I have different as a separate video on how to construct all of this, just in case you wanted to catch up, you wanted to make some clarification if there are other things that is not clear. Well, I think we're much privileged because I have already a video of this like before. So what you can do, if you wanted to review, you wanted to revisit the variables here, I have already a video of this. I'll also post that one. And then for the frequency distribution table for group data, I mean, you don't have much of a choice, but you really have to watch that one because that is the detailed discussion how to make a table like this. Okay? I already explained to you the reason why I did not show it here. What else? So by Wednesday, you'll have your midterm exam and then the coverage of your examination until mode of group data from the definition. Okay, definition from the start until here. That's the coverage. That includes the frequency distribution table for group data, the one that I'll be posting after our class. So if you have question about the frequency distribution table on that particular area there that um, perhaps you have some confusion, you can message it, send your question in our GC. I'll answer it to you. I'll get you back ASAP. Okay? And Monday again, I'll start another discussion for the variability. But until now, any question or clarification, let me know. Hello?
Sir,
Yes.
sa imo ra jud time nimo open ang imong kwan, sir? Exam?
Yes, definitely. Why? The one that I left it open the whole day was because it was holiday. And then which I actually give it once more because I noticed there were some, or I mean others are having very low score because uh posting the video alone, others were not able to follow. I don't know, or they haven't watched it. I'm not really sure. So I discussed it after, and then we've had our again. But this time, there is no other reason that I'll just have to open it during our schedule. So at least now you're much privileged in the setup because the advantage I have videos, I have recorded videos also. The session is recorded. So every time you wanted to review, you have things that you're confused, you can just go back and watch the video again. At least from there, it's an advantage that you can consider. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So I'll be posting a video
Sure.
for our class. I'll be posting this session. And then the computation of mean, median, mode for group data that I have already, which is you can consider it as a supplement if in case you wanted to have more example. I'm not sure if I used the same example from here and in the video that I already uploaded long time. And then the video also for the construction of frequency distribution table for group data. So more or less, I'll be posting 5 videos. So it's up to you. You watch the you can watch the mean median mode optional, it's up to you. Or you can watch this recorded, it's up to you. But the other one is non-negotiable. You really have to watch it unless if you're not if you're willing to take the risk of taking a quiz which you are not familiar with some of the terms there. Well, it's up to you. But I suggest it's not negotiable. You really have to watch the last video. The only video that I said I'll be posting because I cannot show the computation here for a very limited space. Yes, someone is about to ask a question. May I know what's your question? Hello? People of the Philippines, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
So I assume there is no more question left because no one is asking anything.
Review na lang siguro sa video, sir.
Oh, I see. So everyone, you can now open your camera. You might be to say a little bit of hi to your classmate before leaving the conference. Uh, Others are not yet opening their camera. Mahina what you're supposed to do. What is our intended schedule for the Wednesday?
Sir?
What is our schedule for Wednesday?
William, sir.
Okay. And what are the things you have to do
Review the
in order
video,
to prepare?
sir. And, oh, review the video, sir, and study.
Okay. I mean, I did not require you to review. It's actually it's your discretion whether to review the video. What I'm saying is that you have to watch the video. The video that I said that we haven't made a discussion here, which is the frequency distribution table for group data. But the video for mean, median, and mode, well, I'll just gonna leave it to you. If you wanted to, if you feel you're much comfortable and already prepared without doing the review, watch the video again, I'll leave it to you. But the one that is non-negotiable is to watch the frequency table for group data. Okay? I'm not sure if Are you okay? Mababa. What's wrong? Why are you smiling? What's the problem?
Mobile ako nila, sir. Bye, classmates. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Okay, bye-bye everyone.
Bye everybody. Bye sir. Salamat.
Bye, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Sir, na ako'y clarification, sir ba?
Yes.
Kanang sa last nga quiz, sa quiz 4 kay, wala na ko naobdan ako yellow paper niya. Sa ako lang notebook gisuwat. Okay ra to, sir? Ang solution.
The last time I checked, you're only allowed to submit one picture. So how did you come up with one picture if you have a separate papers?
Kuan, sir, i-collage na ko.
Make sure that when you make a collage, make sure that it's still readable. And I mean,
Ah,
the size is still, I mean, it's still clear. Because if I can't see anything, or I mean, because others, they were trying to submit anything just for the means of submission, but it's no longer visible, or I mean, it's no longer clear to watch or to look at. Make sure of that.
okay, sir.
Mhm. Any other clarification? Maybe somebody has a problem or this question. I think we're good already because people are leaving. Okay.